treachery, greed and revenge. These are just a few of the heinous acts that have taken place in this now obscure castle that lies on the outskirts of my hometown of Rathkeale in County Limerick. Come with me and I'll tell you more. You will discover the hidden history, the family deceit and the mystery surrounding Castle Massacre. Here in the back. Massacre was erected in the 15th century by James, the 6th Earl of Desmond, also known as James the Upstart. The name is derived from the pagan goddesses of the Celts, known as the Matris. 1487, James, the 9th Earl of Desmond, owned the castle. By all accounts, he wasn't a very nice man, and his servants hatched a plan to be rid of him. And in December of that year, they murdered him. His brother Maurice found out and executed all of the servants. Upon further investigation and a little bit of research, I actually found out that there was more to this story. James, the 9th Earl of Desmond, was married to Margaret O'Brien, and she was the daughter of the Prince of Thomond. Now, unfortunately for both of them, they had no children, and a male heir was very important for an earldom. So it seems he has three brothers. Maurice was the eldest, Maurice, also known as Maurice Bacca. There was Thomas Moyle, Thomas the Bald, and there was John, also known as Sir John. All three of these men were married to very ambitious women, and they all had children. So John, being the most ambitious, hatched a plan to murder his brother and take the earldom for himself. And he hired an assassin known as John the Stammer. And on the 7th of December, John the Stammer came across the Earl of Desmond in his bedroom and murdered him. This having happened, Maurice, his older brother, found out about the plot. He executed John the Stammer and he banished Sir John, claiming the earldom for himself, and Maurice became the 10th Earl of Desmond. Said that James the Earl that was murdered haunts the stairwell of this castle to this day. He appears once every 7 years, but we don't know what 7. Fortunately, the treachery and terrible acts do not end there. For less than 100 years later, the most heinous of crimes took place here, or started here. 1580, during the Desmond Rebellion of Munster, Castle Massacre was a watchtower because of its central location in Munster. Because of that, it was under constant attack. So a papal army was sent from Rome and Spain to help the Irish fight the occupying Protestant English. The Duke of Ormond left here from this courtyard to meet the papal army in Smyrmic. And when he left Sir Walter Raleigh and his soldiers here to guard the castle. The townspeople of Rathkeale, who were starving at the time because of the feuding and the fighting, had no food at all. So they decided that they would come here to see if there was any food left by the army that had left. When they came into this courtyard, Sir Walter Raleigh and his soldiers were waiting for them and massacred all of them. Walter Raleigh then proceeded to Smyrwick, where he was just in time for the surrender of the papal army, under the conditions of leniency. But when they didn't convert to Protestantism, they were all slaughtered, all 700 except for the commanders, which were kept alive until the following day when they got a blacksmith out to break their arms and legs in 3 places. They were left overnight and then they were beheaded the following day. Now, this story was told in folklore for years, and people weren't sure whether it was real or not until a few years ago when archaeologists discovered 16th century remains in a field in Smyrwick, a field known as the Field of the Cutting. The massacre of 700 of the Pope's soldiers in Catholic Ireland still stands as one of the most atrocious acts carried out by the British forces in 16th century Ireland. For his part, Sir Walter Raleigh was given the freedom of the town of Rathkeale and was also hailed a hero by his countrymen and Queen. The Gothic is all about the past coming back to inform you, and nothing can be more truer than the events that took place here.